board. Okay, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Laura Bean, who's a co-host right now and our presenter, Be Digital Marketing, and going to help us with websites. So Laura, looks like she's got it under control. It's all yours. I will mute myself.
Well, I'm excited that there's so many of you guys here. It looks like there's 29 people on the call, so that's awesome. And I talk fast, so I think that I was gonna just power through this in 15 minutes anyway. So hopefully I can slow down for you. I'm not a public speaker, which I'm sure most of you guys can relate. But I do know a lot about websites. So today we're gonna talk about making sure your website's doing its job, it's attracting leads, booking clients, supporting its brand. And if you've ever wondered why, wondered, is my website actually helping my business? You're in the right place. Hold on one second. Alexa, stop. I have Alexa that reminds me to do everything, and it's trash day today. So, I'm Laura Bean, for those of you that don't know me or I haven't met already. Hopefully that will change. I've been designing websites professionally for about 16 years, even before mobile responsiveness was even a thing. So I work primarily with women and entrepreneurs in service-based businesses. I don't do a lot of e-commerce type work, but I do have knowledge about how to set up an e-commerce website. And I work with women who want a website that works and that's not just pretty. And so today we're going to talk about the 10 basics that I kind of recommend to all of my clients. And we'll go through how they can help you on your website. And I also have a few offerings at the end that we're going to talk about. I'm going to minimize everyone so that I don't get distracted. So if you do have questions, feel free to put those in the chat and we'll talk about all your questions at the end. That way I can just kind of focus through this. And then if there's anything that you guys want to talk about at the end, we'll take a look at that. So before I get into the list, I want you to think about your website like hosting a party at your home. First, you clean your house because no one wants to go and hang out in a mess. Then you make it fun. You add snacks, music, good vibes, because you want people to stay and enjoy themselves and come back. And of course, you're a good host, so greeting guests, showing them around, making them feel welcome. And that's what you should be looking at on your website. It should be clean, inviting, helpful, and memorable. That way people will want to come back. The first thing I recommend that you have on your website is a clear value proposition. Ask yourself, can someone tell what I do in 5 seconds of landing on my site? Because that's about as much time as you're going to get for somebody who doesn't know you or doesn't already know what you do, but wants to learn more. Your headline should speak right to your target audience's biggest desire. Think about what you do, who you help, and how, and try and deliver that right at the beginning. We call that first section of your website, right below the header, a hero section. It should be the hero of your story, and how you help people. So you're the hero. How can you help your audience? And a good example is helping Denver moms feel strong and supported through prenatal chiropractic care. It clearly tells people who you help, where they are, and there's also some keywords in there that will help you get found online, which we'll talk about as well. Avoid using generic phrases like, welcome to our website, we help you succeed. Be real, tell people exactly what they need to know, or talk about their pain points. Don't be generic and vague because you'll lose them right off at the beginning. The next thing I recommend for your website is making sure that it's mobile friendly and responsive on your site. So when I say responsive and mobile friendly, those are two different things. Mobile friendly, small phones is what we think about. We want to make sure that it looks good on tablets and laptops and every different type of size of website. So depending on what tool you're using, a lot of those tools will allow you to change the view when you're editing your website to make sure that it looks good on all those other sizes. If you're not sure, you can try using your website on your phone. Can you read it? Is it easy to scroll? Are you able to click through things? A lot of people will use a thumb test on their website on their phone and making sure that you can get to all of those buttons on the screen with your thumbs. 60% of the traffic of websites is coming from a mobile device. It used to be half and half, but now it's more. So more websites people are visiting on mobile. So it's just as important that it looks great on a mobile device as it does on a desktop. Typically when I'm designing a website, I start with the desktop first. And then once I know that that's exactly how I like it to look on the desktop, then I take a look at what other sizes. And I also will remove some things from my mobile site. So if we are building out a home page and we've got a lot of video or photos, maybe we've got a large portfolio of images. We want to think about how quickly that's going to load on a mobile device. So some of those things can be hidden on mobile so that your website loads faster. That's just as important about performance and how quickly it comes up. And we also want to avoid using large buttons or pop-ups on a mobile phone because sometimes those can be distracting or hard for people to close. So think about that before you add the pop-up. Do you need the pop-up on your mobile phone or mobile devices, or do you just need it on your desktop visitors? And oftentimes, depending on the tool that you're using, you can edit whether or not those things show up on mobile. The next thing I recommend on your website is making sure that it's easy to navigate. Imagine walking into a store with no signs, it's confusing, there's lots of visitors, and you don't know how to get around. You want to make sure you use clear, simple labels across the top of the website. That's your navigation. Things like service, about, contact us. I also advise only keeping your top navigation to about 5 to 7 menu choices max. It is also, the more you have up there, the more confusing and hard it's going to be for your visitors to find what they're looking for. So I work with a lot of clients that think that that's the only part that your website visitors are looking at. And oftentimes it's the last thing they look at. So think about what you're putting on the landing page. Are you able to direct traffic through the landing page to your different services? Or do you really need them in that drop down menu? So think about how your client's going to use the website. Are they clicking on the navigation? And we'll talk about how to tell. But you can use your footer for extra things. I often use the footer for anything extra that I need people to know is on my website. Maybe privacy policy that goes down there, contact forms, contact links. And also, I like to use the footer for other SEO tricks, adding where your service areas are, listing out your services in the way that people are searching for them that might not seem as natural in the header of the site. You might just want to put services, it takes them to the service page that lists all the different services that you offer. And then organize the drop downs only so that key links are at the top. Don't overclutter it. I've seen this happen many times where every single page is put in the top navigation in some way, shape, or form. That doesn't have to happen. You can use links within your website on buttons, on pages to get to those other pages. So really think about how you want to guide your guests through your website. You're not going to just put every single door in your house open for everyone to come in. You might close some doors that you don't need them to look at right away. Maybe you didn't clean that room. So make sure that that's how you're leading your guests through your website as well. And then, yeah, that's the last part. I talked about the footer. Oh, and then always provide an easy way for people to return home or get to the home page. I do get this question a lot, is whether or not I need to put the word home in my navigation. The answer today is no. A lot of more people are user friendly on websites. They understand that if you click the logo, it oftentimes will take you back to your website. So make sure that your logo is bringing people back there. But if you do have a lot that you want to bring them back to the homepage for, or maybe that's the only page you have, you can put a homepage navigation, but it won't do anything. So think about how that's going to work for your visitors. All right, this is my favorite one actually. A compelling call to action is the fourth most important thing that you want to put on your website. And oftentimes this is the number one forgotten thing to do. Um, a lot of people build this beautiful website, but we don't tell our customers what we want them to do, what action we want them to take after they've come to our website. We've got a fancy blog, we've got all these services, but now what? There's the contact page, but on the actual pages itself, the home page, the services page, the blog pages, the about page. What do we want them to do once they've reached to the bottom of that page? That should be clear on every single page of your website, not just your homepage. Use action verbs like schedule a call, get a quote, download the guide. Repeat your call to action throughout the page. It doesn't need to be just through at the bottom. It can be at the very top. If you want somebody to schedule a call and that's the most important thing, you want them to take the next step, make sure that's clear on the page. And even sometimes in that hero section, you want them to take action right away before they leave your site. So imagine that hero section again on your homepage is your only impression. They don't look at anything else on your website. What do you want them to know and what do you want them to do? And I also like to say choose one main call to action for each page that you want to highlight, because too many choices can make it also confusing for people to figure out what to do next. Do you want them to view your pricing guide? Do you want them to schedule time to talk about your services? What do you want them to buy your product? And we need to tell them what it is that we think they should do. Get a drink, have a seat, things we do when we welcome people into our house. I'm also bossy, so I tell everyone what to do. The next thing I tell people to do is make sure that you have the very basics of search engine optimization set up on your website. There are advanced tactics to get your website to show up in those search results. And depending on your business, it's easier or harder depending on what type of business you have. If you're a real estate agent, it can be very hard to rank on search engines because there's so much competition. There's so many other websites like Zillow and other things that are fighting for that first space. So I like to guide my clients through the very basics first, and then we can start to talk about advanced tactics. One of the first things that you should do is start by understanding what your customers are searching for online. Put yourself in their shoes. Think about what they're going to type and ask Google to find your service or your product. After you do that, gather a whole bunch of keywords that you think are going to be what people are searching. A trick that I like to do, I go on to Google, I type in one of those things. When you see the search results pop up for example, help with my website in Denver, if I type that in, I will see not only those results, but also what other people are searching for. It tells you right there. Google will give you that information and it'll say, okay, everyone else is looking for this. Those are your keywords. Those are the ones that you want to grab. Then I take those common keywords and phrases that are related to the industry and I put them into a search tool that will tell me how often they're being searched on a monthly basis. Google Ad Planner. So even if you're not using Google Ads, you can go into a Google Ad account for free and use their keyword planner and plug in all of those keywords and it'll tell you how often those are showing up in search results. Some AI tools will also do it for you. ChatGPT, if given the right prompts, will give you some information as well. If you're not sure what people are looking for, ask ChatGPT or another AI tool to tell you, because nowadays it's really easy. Another trick is going to your competitors' websites or people that you want to outrank and see what keywords they have on their website and also in the meta description or what shows up when you Google their business. That will help you. The next thing is to incorporate those keywords naturally throughout the website content. Remember, it's more important to speak to your target audience than it is to speak to Google. So you want those words to be woven in there naturally, but also being authentic to who you are and your brand. And then the other thing is to make sure that you add some of those keywords into the heading tags of your website. So your website is kind of like a book or a novel. You have a heading, your website heading, the title of your website, the title of your book. And then you have chapters or services or other pages within that book. And then within those pages, you have subheadings or sub chapters. And that is where you put those heading tags, H1, H2, H3, and so on. They're not just for making your website font or style look a specific way. And so do a little bit of research before you start using a whole bunch of different styles of H1, H2, H3. Each page should only have one heading 1 tag, and that's typically the title of your page. So whatever you call that page, about page, add some keywords into that about page. You can still change what it says in your navigation, but the page title should include some keywords in it. And then everything on the page should be H2, H3, H4, and so on. And that might not make a lot of sense to some of you. Some of you might understand exactly what I'm talking about. But there are a lot of tools out there that will help you if you're trying to learn how to do this on your own. But this is some of the basic stuff. And then the next thing is to make sure that you provide high quality information and content that answers your customers' questions. A reason for them to trust you know what you're talking about or the service that you're providing. And then there's also descriptive alt text for your images that you can use to add keywords in there that are hidden on the back end of your website. Not only does it help people understand what's on your website, it helps Google understand what those images are too. So it's kind of an extra chance to attach a keyword to some of those images on your website. So that's going to be the basics of the SEO stuff. There's more advanced stuff that we can talk about in another time. And then 6 would be, and I'm looking at time, we're good. Contact info on your website, and also some smart alternatives. I've been building websites for a really long time, and the number one thing that gets the most spam on any website is a contact form. It's been like this since I started. Bots can go to your website, they can fill these forms out. A lot of the times we have spam captchas or ways to prevent the spam from coming through, but it fails. I do tell my clients it's a good thing if your website's getting spam on its contact form. It means your website's showing up on the internet. You're able to be found, which is a good thing. Spam, not so much. So I do like to advise you that if you're getting spam through your website, try and add an extra spam layer of protection, and also never click on any links that come through those forms. I now am advising people to ditch the contact form and replace it with an easy way for people to schedule a time to talk, because ultimately that's the goal. They go there, they fill out your contact form, and they want to talk to you. They want to have conversation, not just via email. They might want to meet face to face, or they may want to have a Zoom call. And a lot of people are replacing their online forms with online booking forms, which I've done on my website. It's increased conversions across every single website that I've built by 37%. So if no one's filling out your contact form except for spam bots, it's time to replace it with an online booking form that allows people to schedule a time to meet with you quickly. Another thing that you can add to your website if you want instant connection with them, especially if you're in a competitive business like real estate or maybe painting houses or some of those home services, is adding a chat widget to your website. Gives you instant connection with the visitors on your website. They can ask you questions. A lot of the times these can be connected to your phone and email so that you either get a text message or an email the second someone fills that out, and allows you to communicate back and forth with them via text. And now they're even smarter. They can connect to AI, and you can load that up with your entire knowledge base of what you know and how you interact with customers, and it can do that job for you while you're sleeping. That's the other thing about the online booking forms. I can generate leads and schedule appointments while I'm in bed, while I'm sleeping, not doing any work. So it cuts back on the back and forth emails that you have between a client and you trying to figure out the right date. And that just adds some frustration and also some stopping points from getting to what you want, which is a customer. Yeah, and they all can work together. The one thing I will say is make it easy for people to contact you. And you can definitely put your phone number on your website. There are ways that you can track that phone number so you can see how many times people are actually dialing that phone number. So you can track that on your website. But it is also advised not to add your email address to your website. That's just another way for people to scrape your email off of your website, or bots, not people. And then they can spam you and send you bad links all the time. So don't put your email address on your website. Just put a form that's linked to your website email address. And that will help cut that down a little bit. Social proof, number 7. This is an important thing to build credibility and trust with your audience. If you share a specific client testimonial or include results of an experience of a happy customer, this can be very compelling to your audience, to your customers. If you display recognizable brand logos of clients that you've worked with, this also lends credibility. You can showcase detailed case studies with measurable results that demonstrate how you deliver successful outcomes to your clients. And all of these provide some type of social proof that helps overcome skepticism and show others that have benefited from your products and services. I'm terrible about doing this on my website. It's actually my biggest pain point for me is filling out some type of case study to tell people why this customer hired me, what I did to help them. But this is the only way that my clients are really, or prospective clients are really going to be able to see whether or not I know what I'm talking about and how I can help them benefit from my services. So I highly recommend putting some type of testimonial, client logos, or case studies on your website. A lot of the newer, or a lot of my clients that have portfolios, for example, Jackie with Blue Leaf Design, they do a lot of great new remodels of kitchens and bathrooms. And rather than just putting those photos up on a portfolio for you to thumb through, I'm now recommending that you create a full case study or on your blog that tells people the story of why you selected the finishes that you selected, or what those finishes are, what the customer was looking for, and how you solved that problem for them. May it be knocking down walls, adding new furniture, whatever the case may be. We want to tell that story with the photos, and that's going to do better than just putting a portfolio on your website. And you can do that with your murals as well, showing people what they had before and how you got to the end product will help new customers make a decision to work with you. The next thing that's super important to have on your website is your about page. An about page that connects what your story is to your audience on a personal level. Share how you got started in your business, what drives you to do what you do. My favorite is being authentic and relatable. Let your passion and your personality shine through on your website. This helps build trust and rapport with visitors. Explain the purpose behind your business, what problem you're trying to solve for customers. How does your work make a difference from the other guy? Connecting your audience on an emotional level is key. Yes, you want to highlight your credentials and your experience, but more so your unique approach to what you're offering. Demonstrate how it'll be, how your demonstrate your expertise and build confidence in your ability to deliver. So ask yourself, what do I want someone to feel when they come to your about page? Think about your about page as your connection page, not your resume, not a list of all the colleges that you went, or the schools that you went to. That's all important, but you really want to connect. And I'll use an example of how building this person and being authentic to who you are or your business helps people who want your services relate to you. But each person that I work with, not everybody relates to me. Not everyone wants my bold blunt information. Some people want a little bit of Laura King, right? Someone who's going to be really kind and sweet and give you a hug. And so she's going to attract more of those customers. And that's what she wants, more of those customers. I'm different. So I tell people like it is. I am upfront and bold, and that attracts some people. It doesn't attract to the clients that I don't want to work with. So being yourself and being unique to who you are is going to also help you connect to the customers that you really want to work with. So I always say, just let your freak flag shine because you want people that want to work with you to contact you. Be professional too. Your site should sound like you and not like a robot or a corporate template. You want to speak in a way that's going to resonate with your audience, and you're going to want to use language that they understand. Avoid jargon. A lot of people are using AI now to create their content for their website. I do it too. But make sure that you know what it is you want your AI to give you, right? You need to speak in a way that resonate with your audience. Talk like you would to them offline as you're talking to your AI. Make sure that you're not using complicated words that they don't understand. And oftentimes that's what you're going to get if you don't know what to ask for. You're going to get some jargon. You're going to get AI. And I think a lot of us know now after being around, you can spot it from a mile away. It includes a lot of emojis. It includes a lot of journeys and visions and a lot of words that we don't really use. So try and think about how you talk and make it consistent across all of your pages and cohesive. Focus on how you can solve your customers' challenges. Highlight the benefits, not just the features, and then let your brand shine through. Authenticity builds trust with your visitors. A bonus for engaging content is adding an FAQ, answering the questions that a lot of people are asking you already. Just answer them online. That's also an SEO trick too. So you can ask Google what people are asking about and then answer those questions on your website. That will help your search engine results as well with your FAQ. Adding video content to your website and also a blog. And again, blogs don't have to be blogs like we think of them. They can be case studies. They can be stories of how you helped customers or just advice. I like to think of mine as free marketing advice that I provide on my website so they have a reason to come back. And the last things I'm going to power through because we only have a little bit more time and I want to answer any of your guys' questions and I have some free stuff for you. But analytics and tracking conversions. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Most people that I talk to when I ask them how much traffic on average every month does the website get, most people don't know the answer to that question. They think their website's not working for them, but they don't know because they don't have that information. So you can start simple without overthinking it about it. How many people are visiting your contact page, for example, would be an important thing to measure. How many times people click your schedule button, and also what blog posts get the most traffic. Those can help you analyze what you need to create more of or what you need to make changes to that are not working on your website. That's all I have for the top 10 things. So I know I covered a lot of important website essentials today. So now I'm going to open up to you guys for questions. Before I do, I know some of you might have to jump right off. So I want to share the free resources that are now available on my brand new website that I just launched over the weekend. My goal was to have it done for this call today, and I made it. So check out my new website. It's super fun. There's a couple of fun things right at the bottom. I'm offering a free website audit where I will go through your current website, provide detailed feedback on its performance, usability, and design. And I also have a free SEO audit if you want to see how your website stacks up on SEO. This is quick and instant, and it happens in about 30 seconds. Just put in your email and your website address, and you'll get it instantly. And then another one is a really fun website refresh quiz that if you answer a couple of fun questions, it'll tell you whether or not your website is in need of an update. And then we can talk about what type of updates that looks like for you. All right. So I'm going to just open it up. You guys can unmute yourselves. I'll look at you guys again and tell me what questions you guys have.
I see Rachel has a question. There was a couple more in the,
Oh,
go through and look, see if I can find them.
sweet. I'm looking at them too.
Okay.
There we go. I just had a quick one, Laura. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it was a scam or not, but recently I kept getting these notifications that rachelscreations.com is available. It wasn't 26 years ago when I started my business, so I'm rachelscreations.net. Is it dumb to change that after 26 years in business, or is that advantageous for some reason? But
Oh,
people
that's,
still
that's a
go
great,
to
great
.com.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, so two parts to that. Don't trust emails that come to you that are unsolicited. So double check
Exactly.
by going to like your Wix website and searching for that domain to see if it's available. That would be my first advice. But yes, there is yes, if bdigitalmarketing.com became available, I would buy it. I would not change my main domain. However, I would just take that new domain that I really like and have it redirect to my website because I don't want to lose the authenticity and the credibility that I built with my previous domain. I don't recommend changing your domain name after 26 years. After
Okay.
2 years, maybe.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was my thought, but I thought I would ask.
Yeah, if you don't
It
have
did.
a ton of SEO value, then you're probably okay changing your domain name early on in the process.
Okay.
Yep.
And it did seem like a scam thing because if you Google rachelscreations.com, something comes up,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah,
But
just don't trust the emails from unsolicited.
no,
Sarah, what's your question?
thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, just amazing information. So thank you. I work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. Do you have a sort of a nonprofit arm pricing that you do? I've been tooling around on your website, so I
Yeah.
can see what you're doing there, but do you have anything that you offer to nonprofits?
Yeah, that's a
that I
great
could pass
question.
along?
I do offer a discounted rate for all of my non-profits. So they can contact me, they'll get a discounted rate from what's listed on my website. And for my hourly support, I normally charge $65 an hour, but for nonprofits, it's $55 an hour. Yep, great question. And nonprofits is my jam. I love helping nonprofits, especially women-based nonprofits, but all nonprofits. Kathy asked, do I do Wix? Yes. Great. I wanted to touch on that too. If you're not, if you know you need a website refresh and you can't afford somebody to do it for you and you want to try and do it on your own, and I think I've talked to some of you, you all kind of know what I would say. Do it yourself. Yes. There now it's so easy to build a website by yourself without the help of Laura Bean. Yes, I know I can do great stuff, but AI, especially on Wix, is amazing. If you don't have to pay Wix to create your Wix free website. You can go on there, tell it what your business is, tell it what kind of website you need. It'll create it for you. AI can do that now. So it wasn't the case, a couple months ago, but now you can just go to AI and even if you want to refresh, see what Wix can do. I definitely recommend that over some of the other ones out there. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm looking here in the chat too.
If anybody's curious, my new one that Laura helped me make myself was done with Wix. So you're welcome to check it out and ask any questions.
Wix makes it very easy, especially for DIY. WordPress can be easy too, but Wix is very easy for a beginner. Brianna says, is it more important to speak to your target client than to Google? Yes. Oh, she said she loves that. It is. It's more important to talk to your clients first, then Google second. But you do need to keep, if you want search engines to find you, right? Like if you care about that stuff, you need to incorporate keywords into your website. Some of my clients don't care about whether or not they show up on search results, and that's okay too. You don't have to show up on search engines. I get all of my business from referrals. I don't care if a stranger finds me for website designer. In fact, I probably won't work with them because I do like working off of referrals, and particularly with women. And strangers scare me. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to rank for WordPress or Wix website design. So I don't really focus on that. I just focus on my target audience. Anybody? I know I covered a ton. But yeah, feel free to check out my website. I know we've reached the end of our time. Check out those free resources. I'll audit your website if you'd like. The SEO audit is easy and free, and the website redesign or refresh quiz is so fun. So even if you don't need one, just go play with that.
Very good. Let's see. I think I saw one more question from Rebecca. If we get the same, did you answer this? If we get the same questions asked many times, which are already on, or already on the website section.
Oh,
any
that
suggestions?
means people aren't reading your FAQs, and that's not uncommon. People don't read your website. So you are going to have to do some work in selling your services and businesses, and you might have to answer your questions multiple. I don't think it's important to reposition your FAQs. At the bottom is fine. I think they help for search engine optimization anyway. And the other thing that I didn't mention that helps with search engine optimization is making sure your website is linked in as many places possible on the internet. The more links you have back to your website, the better. So places like the directory for Mountain Women in Business, that alone will help your SEO. Chamber listings help, or if you're in a specific niche and there's directories like Zillow, or places that you can find a financial advisor, or places you can find career coaches, or people that do Enneagram, get listed on those directories that are already out there for your particular business. That will help. I could talk about websites all day, ladies.
Then
All right. Cool. That's it. I'm going to go golfing for the rest of the day. All right, you guys are too quiet for me. Are we done?
course, the internet is locking up on Zoom, so
Oh, okay.
Oh,
there
Makes
was
sense.
about 5 to 7 menu items. Is it okay to have less than 5?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
all right. All right, I think we're good. And thank you, everybody, for being here. The recording will go out to all members and see some of you on the hike tomorrow. Thank you, Miss Bean. It was great information.
Thank you guys. It's
thank
good
you
seeing
so
all of you.
much.